Plugin for Gradle 3.0. This is my topic. Can anybody tell me which current Gradle version is running on? 3.0, right? So anybody has experience? How many? Please raise your hand. Few, right? Because it's recently published. So might be all of are not aware about. So I just choose this session. Why? Because it's a surprise and it's script stop. So I can explain few of the things, not the all, to you. So that might be possible if you are using 2.3 Gradle and you want to migrate to 3.0. There are some chances that you might stuck in something which is not expected, right? So plugin for Gradle 3.0 with Android Studio 3.0, right? So no lower version will be expected. Gradle versions. So let's say an example, if I'm using plugin for Gradle 3.0, I require to upgrade my Gradle version to 4.1, right? Now, any new versions, if published, there might be some optimization, new features are published. So in this Gradle 3.0, there are some optimization. First one is the faster build process. If you think, how many of you have experience if you are using 1.0 or any Gradle 2.0, how much time it is taking to build an application? Approximate, and no doubt it will be depend on the application size, but approximately it is taking 1 minute of time, right? And newer version will also decrease the speed, increase the speed, right? So taking an example, if you are using Gradle 2.14, your build process time is 2 minutes for an example. If you are switching to 3.3, your build process time decreased to 29 seconds. And if you are upgrading your Gradle to 3.0, it will decrease to 6.4 seconds as well. So it's good, right? So why? Because if I am a developer, I am developing something, I usually do like simply change line of codes for 2 to 3 lines, and I just want to expect an output what I expect, right? So if it is taking 2 minutes of time, it is almost waste. But if we are upgrading our Gradle and if it is giving me result within 10 seconds, it is almost saving my 1.50 seconds, right? Optimization, another thing is implement new dependency configuration. So in dependency configuration, if you have dependency in your Gradle or in your project, you require to define in your Gradle files. There are some concepts newly implemented in Gradle 3.0. Let's have a look. Previously it was compiled, now it is deprecated, and it is implementation. Now what is implementation? Let me give you an example. If you have a barcode reader library or any kind of custom view, and you are whenever building Gradle, it will also compile your dependencies as well, right? But implementation is something like it will compile your dependency for one time and run for many times. Why? Because you are not going to change your dependencies. You simply wrote it down. When version changes, no doubt it will going to sync. But for implementation purpose, it will not going to change, right? So implementation is the new word which you require to write for your dependencies, right? Rather than compile. Now deprecated one is the API is now set to compile. Now these are the libraries. For an example, you have created some custom views and you are also doing some modification in that. So in that case, you require to write compile, not the implementation. Why? Because whenever you are running your application, you also want to compile your library code as well with your modules, 2 modules, right? Another thing is compile only. Let's say an example, you have some libraries which has only a dependency while you are compiling, not at the runtime. So such libraries you can define with compile only, and some libraries have only runtime dependency. So I don't have a current example for the runtime, but for testing purpose, you have compile time dependency, not the runtime. So you can define with the compile only, right? Anyone has example of the runtime only? Just raise hand. Anyone? No? Okay. Another thing is better multi-module projects. If you are building your projects and if you press any other button or you simply cancel it out, it won't stop. It will continue till the end, right? So now what happened? It will create another threads. So parallel moduling will be enabled. So you can assume that your building process will not stuck, right? Improve build speeds, cache outputs. So let's say an example. You have some code and you use instant app also. Many of you have integrated that, right? So if you change some code in layout, it will not going to create DX files. It will simply cache your outputs and show it to you, right? So cache outputs is increased. New feature, variant over dependency management. How many of you using product flavors? Okay. What is it used for? Hello. Can anyone give me example for which purpose you are using for that? Anyone, please? Yes, please. Right. So if you want to give some demo or you want to publish some full versions, so you require to define two kinds of flavors. So there is a dimensions you currently require to provide. Give me an example. In the product flavors, you have demo, full, minimum API 24 and minimum API 21. These are the product flavors. But demo and full are the modes of your application. So those are dimensions. And for minimum API 21 and 24, those are your API dependencies, right? Am I audible? Okay. So what you have done here, you are simply providing dimensions to each of your flavors. If you have provided that, you simply get a build variant. Let me give an example. If you are selecting for debug mode, you will get minimum API 21 demo with the debug. Minimum API demo with the release. So such 8 flavors you are getting. But if there are no any dimensions, what will you get? Only minimum 21 with the debug, not the demo. Are you getting dimensions? What are the dimensions? Clear? Clear? Yes. Okay. Check is now deprecated because in previously we required to add explicitly check toolkit. I'm not explaining full the things. Also they are supporting language specific APKs. Might be possible if you want to publish in Dubai Arabic language, there will be a separate APK. If you want to publish for US, UK, India, Hindi language, there will be a separate APK, right? Behavior changes. In previous session of Paresh Mayani was as well, he said crunch PNGs, right? So previously this option was not provided, but if you enable this in debug mode or the release mode, currently this falls. So it means that whenever you are in the debug mode, simply don't crunch the images, but whenever you are releasing mode, crunch the images, so the APK size will be decreased, right? That's it. Thank you very much.